What's up, guys? So if you stumbled across this video, I'm assuming you have a first gen Tacoma looking to do a solid axle swap on it, and kind of looking at the options. So there's obviously the custom, full-on, you fabricate everything, you take it to a professional shop, however you want to do it. There's a lot of guys that have problems with the road manners. There's a lot of dialing in that'll need to be done. So another option that I found is this WFO Concept. So it looks like a super nice kit. I thought I would get some pictures and videos before I installed it. The quality of this kit's really nice. I've been around this stuff for a while, worked with a bunch of companies, and pretty impressed. It does come bare. I gave it all a quick spray. It's been getting thrown around my garage a while, for a few months while I was gathering parts, building axles, etc. But I'm really pleased with it. The only thing is there's no kind of how-to on how to install. So I talked actually before I started on this and just kind of racked their brain a little bit about install, and they pretty much said that you just install the cross member where the factory trans mount is, square it up, work your way forward. So I'll probably post another video doing the install. I'm not the best at this, this really isn't my thing, but there was no videos that I could see on how to use this kit. It looks like a really nice kit. So just kind of wanted to post this out there for the guys that are looking at options on how to straight axle, that maybe hadn't done 10 or 15 of them, or don't really want to pay whatever a four-wheel drive shop would pay. Now you will need obviously like welders, and plasma cutter would be really nice. But I'm doing this. I do have I'll show you my setup. I do have a little Benpack 9000 Millermatic 211 and a little Harbor Freight plasma that I use. So I mean, it's definitely nice to have the lift and the plasma. I'm just doing this after work in the evenings. So this is 2 afternoons. I've got everything stripped down on the front. Got the frame cleaned up mostly. Still need to go over it a little bit. And then these plates will get welded on driver side, passenger side. So it does have the area to mount the IFS box or trail gear box or whatever. It's IFS style. I think it's 87 to 94. Guys are probably gonna kill me for that. But also, so this kit I think is 3,000, something like that, for all the brackets that lines everything up. On top of that, some other things that you'll need. I made a list here. So what is in the kit? What else will you need? So the kit is just the brackets and the links and the joints for the front. I can show the links here, or the joints. The joints are really nice. Let me get this off so you can hear. The joints are really nice. They look pretty beefy. Good sized joints. For your lowers, and then steering. It does have a drop pitman arm. Sorry with the camera, I'm awful. The Moog joints, I'm not sure if that came with the kit or if I purchased that separately. I've got an F250 that I just rebuilt, so I may have just bought that with it when I was buying it. So it does come with all that, and it locates the front axle and sets your all your steering geometry and that stuff up, your suspension geometry where you need it. But there's still a lot more. So obviously the axles, you have to find a set of axles. You're looking, depending on where you are in the country and just the deal you're on across, I would say probably plan on $1,000 for axles. Brakes, you need to figure out. So what I'm doing, I'm putting all new, I got junkyard axles, so I'm running all new brakes, rotors, calipers, that type of stuff. So, I mean, you're going to easily be, you can easily spend another $1,000 in just calipers, pads, rotors. On top of that, with the brakes, I talked to the guys at WFO, and what they do for master cylinder is they run a Chevy half ton. I think it's 73 to 87. They've got the part number, and they make an adapter to where you can adapt the factory booster to a Chevy half ton master cylinder. So I'm gonna look into that. Right now, I'll probably just see how it does with factory stuff, and I'm sure I'll have a couple bugs that need to be worked out with that anyways. So that's just something else that you need to keep in mind if you do plan on building this. So axles, again, you'll need to gear those axles. So you get say $1,000 in axles, and then you'll need to gear them. And I mean, I'm assuming you'll want to put at least like a grizzly locker in. If you're going 40s, you know, if you're this deep in, you really need to put lockers in it. It'd be really nice to have selectables. You get into air selectable, the e-lockers, that type thing. So I mean, the sky's the limit here on kind of what you want to spend. But I would say for building axles, you need to budget at least another $2,000 at least, after you pay somebody to set up gears. And then we talked about brakes. For steering, again, there's a lot of options here for the guys that are going full on trail rigs. Full hydro is really the way to go. Full hydraulic systems. You've got Trail Gear makes stuff for these Toyotas. All Pro, I'm sure, does. Marlin Crawler probably does. Not sure. I'm just rattling off Toyota aftermarket off-road guys. PSC is a big company for steering, and I know they make a full hydraulic kit, and I'm sure you can call them and piece together a hydro assist with a Toyota pump, and you would probably need an 8-inch ram. Normally that's what you use for the tons. For suspension, what I did is had 12-inch travel Fox 2.0s, and these are not, I mean, they're nothing fancy, honestly. They're no remote reservoir. They're kind of, I mean, for what I'm going to be doing with this truck, it'll be plenty. But if I was going to be a little bit more aggressive, like, here's my Jeep truck. So you can go, I mean, a little bit more aggressive. So this is a 2.5 with a remote reservoir. Obviously, this one's another project that's being polished off, but it just kind of depends. So I call it AccuTune. It's a great company. I think they're out of California. They've custom tuned, I don't know how many. So I've got a Jeep rock crawler, and then that Jeep rig, and then now my Toyota. And, you know, for this truck, I'm just going to be hauling around my son and not doing anything crazy. So I just went with saved a little money, got the standard 2.0 12-inch travel coilovers, and then they do custom valving and that type thing. And then they'll set your spring rates and everything for you, depending on the usage of the truck, the purpose of the truck. So that'll be another cost when you get this kit. I don't remember how much those were, but again, there's several options, so that'll differ. Also right here, I'm actually not, this is for my steering. I'm not going hydro assist or full hydraulic on this. So I've got this same steering stabilizer on I've got a 19 F250, and I love it. It works great. We'll see how it does. My F250's on 37s. Don't have any complaints whatsoever. It's just a through shaft steering stabilizer. So I'm going to put that on this F250X and see how it does. Again, I'm not doing aggressive off-roading in this rig. I really just wanted to get rid of the IFS. I rebuilt the IFS last year, and I've got about 12,000 miles on it, and I just wasn't happy with it. I needed more articulation, so this is where we are with it. Body mods, most guys just cut the fenders. That frame over there is still pretty ugly. I hadn't cleaned it up at all. I just torched it. So most guys trim the fenders here. If you're this far into looking into it, I'm sure you've seen how the fenders get cut. Another option that I'm actually looking into is the fiberglass fenders that pre-runner guys use. because I am going to be driving this thing on the road, and I really don't want to just trash this truck, so I may try to get a little bit of tire coverage with these tons. We'll see how it goes. Tire wheel. Tires are ridiculous right now. I think I just spent $4,000 on stickies for my rock crawler. So, I mean, get ready to pull out the pocketbook if you're putting 40s on a rig, or there's always the used market. But either way, that's going to cost you a couple grand. And then power adders. So these trucks are not. I don't know what that was. These trucks are not powerhouses. It's no secret. But I mean, if you gear right, you're obviously not going to get anywhere in a hurry. But I mean, that's kind of the thing about Toyotas, is they don't have a ton of power, but they also don't break every time you take them out like every Jeep. And I can say that because I've got two. But I've got the factory supercharger. I'm looking at doing the URD 7th injector kit with a smaller pulley. So that's my plans. After I get this done, I would like to get all the kinks worked out on this, and then I'll start adding some power. But kind of one step at a time. I want to get this completely done and all the bugs worked out, and then I'll look at that. Oil pan and drive shafts. So the drive shafts, this kit's designed to work with the factory drive shafts. I'll have to give an update on that. We'll see how it goes. I would think you would at least have to use a bastard joint. I'm not sure what the factory Toyota U-joint size is, but I know the 1-tons are going to be bigger, obviously. I'm sure they make a bastard joint out there that's just different sizes on either side, but not sure if it'll be strong enough or not with the 40s. I had another Toyota on 40s, and it did fine, and it didn't have anything crazy built, and it was locked all the way around on swampers. So I don't know, we'll see. Truck probably won't have enough power or torque to be breaking those joints, but again, that'll be something you just have to figure out. Each case may be a little different. And then the oil pan. So the oil pan for the Tacoma, when you do this swap, I've actually got mine out because I was working on it last night, a gasket. But the factory is a front sump pan, and you actually have to put a T100 pan in. So you'll put a rear sump pan in, and you can get this from Trail Gear, and it is it's just a factory T100 pan for the 3.4, and it moves to the back so you have room for that axle to up travel and not smash into your oil pan. It does give you a new pickup with that kit as well, so it's pretty much turnkey other than our oil pan gasket, obviously. But yeah, so it does come, the kit with these frame stiffeners. Trail Gear makes one for the rear as well that goes back here. I'll probably get that when I finish the front end. I have 14 bolt. Sorry, my shop's a little bit of a mess because I got too many projects. So I shaved 14 bolt, and you can see all these brakes are coming off, and kind of left it undone so it would be a little bit easier to move around. But the shaved 14 bolts going in, and then I'll figure out the shock hoops once the front is set, so that the rear, I can figure out my travel and all once it's all set up, and then I'll buy my shocks, and we'll probably plate that frame as well, just for peace of mind. It's boxed in a little bit here, but I mean, I'm adding a ton of weight, so probably not a bad idea, especially the way these frames are. Mine's solid, but still. But yeah, so I don't know, that's the video on kind of what this kit consists of and what the solid axle swap would consist of if you wanted to do it. I'll probably make another video as I'm installing it. I'm sorry, I'm no YouTube expert or whatever, but I didn't see any videos on how to do this or kind of what this kit consisted of. So here you go. Hopefully it helps, and I'll let you know. I'll give an update after I get this thing on, how it was to put together, and then maybe another video on how it's doing. See how it goes. See you guys.